Hey guys, welcome to another session of xBhp Talks here. And we are still in a lockdown, all of India, and as motorcyclists, we still cannot wrap our heads around the fact that we cannot ride our motorcycles. So, we is that we bring you the next best thing. We bring you people who have been inspiring us since a long time as motorcyclists. And this time, as you can read, it is a gentleman who is not unknown. All of India knows him. In fact, he has been there for almost a generation now on our TV sets and online and pretty much everywhere. So let me welcome Rannvijay. Hi.
Hi, how are you, brother? How's it going?
Great, and I already see that you've got this beast mode on now.
Yeah, it's always on, especially during the lockdown.
Oh yeah, this practically has disrupted us. This coronavirus, and it's great to see your smile. It's great to see the enthusiasm that you bring on the screen. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Rannvijay. I know that you're a very, very extremely busy person, but we are here to talk about you as a motorcyclist.
Yeah.
Millions of people see you online. Millions of people see you on different TV channels. They see you doing various different stuff, exciting stuff, and most importantly, Rannvijay, which people don't know probably, is that you started your journey from Roadies in 2003.
Yeah.
I think I'm not wrong.
Right? Bilkul.
2002 or 2003?
2003. First Roadies.
All right. And just correct me if I'm wrong. Is this a photo from that?
Yeah, this is 2003 Roadies. We were in Sainik School, Satara, on the Roadies journey, and these are the students from Sainik School, and the girl who's standing there in the blue denim and the grey is Minnie, who was also a roadie from Roadies 1, and that's the bike that I used to ride. The in 2003 it was just launched then, the Charisma, and that is the reason I went for Roadies. I wanted to win that bike because I was going to the IMA, to the Indian Military Academy, and before joining, I thought, agar main bike jeet loon, and if I have this bike, then after I pass out, I would not have to spend money on that bike. So that's the reason I went for Roadies.
That is incredible. And I also want to recall properly. I don't want to get this wrong. I was actually also in that same audition in which you were there.
Barakamba Road.
Barakamba Road. Yeah. But I did not go in. You went in.
Yeah.
And as they say, rest is history.
No, it's not. Yeah, we'd be the same place. I'd be taking your interview. You'd be taking my interview. Same thing. We'd be talking to each other.
You have never taken my interview. I'm sorry. But it's like, okay, let me feel good about it, right?
No, but I'll tell you something. I have actually. You don't remember. There were many times that we have help. We needed the help of the biker community to promote Roadies and stuff like that. And you've always been in the picture. We also did something called MTV Chase the Monsoon. So every time we do some kind of ride or something, especially around Delhi, or we've always got in touch with you. And I remember on one of these platforms, I did do an interview with you, and we were already friends by that time. We've always stayed in touch, man. And whenever you go out on your rides to Australia and Europe and everything, I live vicariously through you as a rider.
Well, I don't disturb you enough. I've been sending you some WhatsApp messages about what I'm writing. But anyway, so Rannvijay, can you tell us, I've got one more picture of you. Is it from Roadies or, right?
This is also from Roadies, yeah.
No, you look so chiseled, like a hunk over here.
Yeah.
How old are you over here?
I was 20 years old.
Wow. All right. So basically, I'm 3 years elder to you.
You're 80 born, I'm 83 born.
Yeah. So there goes. So, can you tell me, when you went inside that the audition, who actually took your audition?
There were 5 people. There was a guy called Anil Nair, a guy called Karthik Chintamani, who was the executive producer of MTV at that time. There was David Polycarp. David is Debbie's older brother. He was the one who had made Bakra. His partner Vasant, and there was a 5th guy also. And Raghu was outside taking an interview. Right. So there were 5 people, and There's no footage of them, but there is a camera facing us in Roadies 1, and they're asking us questions, and we're answering them. And if you go online, you'll still you can type Rannvijay's audition, Roadies audition, and you still get some snippets of that audition. It was quite. They were trying to put a lot of pressure, but because I had nothing to lose, and Roadies wasn't as big as it is right now, it was just going to be a journey for me that I was going to have fun
Right.
during the couple of months that I had free before I joined the academy. So I was just having fun, just telling them the truth. And I remember getting up from the audition and then saying that, listen, ये आपका सितंबर से पहले हो जाएगा ना, because मेरे को सितंबर के बाद मेरा टाइम नहीं है. So they looked at me and they were like, हैं?
Maybe you're
We
talking
let
about
you go.
2030, 40, 50, something like that.
2003. I can't believe this. I said that.
This is what they call serendipity, right? I mean, it was meant to be, and instead of actually, the army's loss was
No.
what the Indian game.
I wouldn't say that. My love for the life that I lead, including bikes, right, is because of the Indian Army. I was young, and in the army, you have this DR Bhaiya who always used to travel on a Royal Enfield, the green
Okay.
OG green, and his job is very important because he's supposed to take all the important papers from one office or an officer to another person, and because they're so secretive that you can't really uh, depend on other methods of mail and stuff like that. So a human being called the DR Bhaiya would take these files from one point to the other. And I was like, wow, man, this guy's life is cool. He gets paid to ride a bike. So that was
Right.
one of my first times that I realized that I wanted to actually ride a bike. And of course, the kind of life that I got to live while my dad was in the army was all outdoor activities, a lot of mountain climbing, treks, and I could see all the officers. They were all outgoing and sporty, and that's the reason I actually, when I went to Roadies, I, flawlessly went across and did all the tasks and all that. And I realized that it's very similar to the life that I wanted to lead, which is what I saw in the army. So I can always say that it's because of the upbringing and because of the kind of infrastructure that the army had for me to and my brother to actually enjoy and grow up with is why we are the way we are now. What I have done over a period of last 17 years, because I have become a person that a lot of young people listen to, every time they ask me and they say, we want to lead a life like this, an adventurous life, riding bikes, mountain climbing, snowmobile, this and that. And I give them an example of the Indian Army, and I show them the kind of life that you can lead as an army officer. And I think a lot of kids who didn't know about the army or who weren't aware of the Indian Army kind of got that information, got that exposure, and then decided whether they want to go to the army or not. But so I can say that in a way, I have probably influenced more people and given more information about the Indian Army than if I was myself an officer. So I still serve. For me, there's no greater organization in the world than the Indian Army.
Yeah. So Rannvijay, you are actually still on the front lines. The only difference is that, like I said, that whatever you do, it's visible to millions of people, and so
Yeah.
you feel a sense of responsibility that the correct message should always be given, especially to youth, because a lot of people might be influenced by.
So always, Sunny. Like this is not just now in this. See, in this situation, you see a lot of people standing up and trying to send those messages to their followers and to the people and be an example and uh, be inspiration for people and say, do this, do that, and work out and try to help people. But since I got onto this journey of, since 2003, even if the situation was not like this, even if it was riding bikes, and this, I would always encourage people to uh, wear a helmet, to wear the right kind of gear, to always make sure that they, when they're on the road, the traffic rules are obeyed. And
Right.
so your responsibility towards everything becomes bigger. As a sportsman, I would always encourage kids and young people not to smoke, not to do drugs, to eat better. So in different everything in your life, that you
Right.
do, you become responsible. If you're shooting, you shoot responsibly. You make sure that your crew doesn't litter. So you become very conscious. And thankfully, again, because of the upbringing, we were brought up in a way where boys and girls were equal. In the army, everything is secular. We used to celebrate everything. So then you practice that in your life, and you try to be, like you said, you're not just in one zone of, okay, when it comes to riding, you have to listen to Rannvijay. Whatever I do, I try to do the right things. And yes, there is a sense of responsibility that all of this comes with. And hopefully, till my last days, I will be able to, do that.
Right. So, like motorcycling, army is also a great leveler. You fall equally when you're on the battlefront. You fall equally when you're on a motorcycle. So there are a lot of similarities between the army
Bro,
discipline.
it's so crazy that I have to tell you, out of all the people. So my father rided the Yes. I mean, he's been riding a lot, but when he was young, he had a Yezdi 250, the Road King,
Right.
right? And when my parents were expecting me, a few months before that, they sold the Yezdi 250 Road King, and they bought a scooter because it's safer for a family. And
Mm.
that stayed with me for a long time. My younger chacha, if you know the Republic Day parades, right? You know the Republic Day parades. You see the army team. So the ASC has a team of the Enfield riders called the Tornadoes. The
Yes.
Tornadoes. When my chacha was younger, he was a captain. He was the captain of the Tornadoes, and he was an ace rider. And with the bullet, he would go through fires and through brick walls, and he would climb that stairs on the bullet and salute on Republic Day. So that's the kind of riding and army background I have. So it's not just falling in the army;
Right.
it's falling while riding in the army. I've seen it, and to another level. It's in my blood, man. So if I mean,
Yeah.
I would definitely be a rider in any career if I chose anything. I'll
Wow.
tell you so much. I was going through all my stuff now that we have the time.
Yeah.
Back in '98, I was 15 in '83. So '98, I was about 15. So I got some stuff out from then that I don't know how it's still there. Uh, so around '95, when we started, eating these products and all, they used to come in with things that you have to make. So I don't know if you remember this. This used to
Yeah.
come in packet of chips. There'd be different pieces, and you would have to like assemble them, and it was like a do-it-yourself DIY. So I have many of these since the '90s, the '95, '96, '97, '98. I
Wow.
would I would just because
Do you?
at that time these figurines and life-size models didn't come to India, right?
Yeah.
So you had to be you like I used to have posters of like different bikes, and then then this is crazy, yeah. Frito Lay, not that I want to promote, yeah, used to do these
Yeah.
cards. They wouldn't
All
even
right.
name the bike. They would just call this bike is called Bazooka, and it would say top speed 212 kilometers, 0 to 100 in 7.7, engine capacity 685. So it was like a trump card that you
Yeah.
would collect in one packet, and I had like loads of these.
Wow.
This is when I was like
You
12,
are how old?
13, 14, and I still have these.
Wow.
But
You
you
are
have
20 years old.
yeah,
More than 20 years old.
more than that. Look at this bike. It's called Sparta.
Wow. That's like
Yeah. So
crazy,
there's
man.
Sparta, there's Blade Runner,
Oh
and
wow.
there's Tormentor. I mean, these guys,
Tormentor.
these guys didn't even think of telling us what bike it was, but I collected these. It's got Blackjack.
Wow. This is
Wow.
amazing.
Thunder,
You know,
thunder. So I've been into that's what I'm saying. So bikes at whatever level, toys, cards, posters, I was really into. And finally, because of the kind of the choice of my career and the kind of exposure, I have to tell you, I'm really lucky that the kind of biking experiences that I've had, man.
one sec. Rannvijay, the thing is that if I would ask you, what is that quality that you've seen yourself that has seen you come this far? Because not everyone can take the adulation, uh, the fame, the way you have taken. Very frankly, it's
Because
not
I
everyone.
haven't I haven't taken it. That's the best. if you don't take it seriously, if you don't take yourself seriously,
Hmm.
as in not the person, but the fame and all is just part of the job that I do. So I take my job really seriously. I'm very serious about
Right.
the things that I do. But the byproduct of that is that people recognize you. Now that part you can't say, oh wow, that's not a currency that one should count. I think so. I told my grandfather once, we were sitting in a one of those dhabas going from Delhi to Chandigarh, and some people were coming up to me, and I was in the middle of eating, and my grandfather, after everybody took like many pictures, my grandfather, and he's a very educated, very learned, very 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 wise man. He said, "Bache, it's very nice that you take pictures with everybody. It's very nice. That's very nice." And I told my
Right.
grandfather, I was younger, I said, "Grandfather, but Papa, I feel like that I have a superpower, and my superpower is that I can, if I take a picture with somebody, I can make them smile or I can make them happy. So if I use it as a superpower, and
Right.
that's what I'm supposed to do with it, then if I'm not doing it, I'm not justifying the power that I've been given." And I tell a lot of young roadies and splits villains that the same thing, that like, listen guys, if by just standing in the same frame as somebody, you
Yeah.
can make somebody happy without you giving them money, without you working for them, without anything. All you have to do is stand with somebody and smile, and you can make somebody happy. I mean, this is not a lot people are asking of you. So,
Wow.
so that's there, and then you have. I mean, for me, you will understand this, Sunny, that the things that give me happiness
Right.
have nothing to do with how famous one has to be. Things that give me
Yeah.
happiness is playing basketball. Of course,
Yeah.
being with family and spending time, that doesn't need any money. Playing basketball, riding bikes,
Yeah.
right? And just chilling with friends. Now, these three things actually don't need any money or fame.
Yeah.
You ride a bike, you wear a helmet, you get to a basketball court, you play, you come back, you chill with your friends and your family. And very early in my life, I realized that for a lot of things, you don't need fame and money. You just need the intention.
Yeah.
You need the intention. You
Yeah.
can't be confused. So a lot of times I get offered stuff that would pay me a lot of money, lot matlab normal good money,
Yeah.
but I didn't do it because that would take me away from the kind of things that I wanted to do in the same time.
Right.
So I would do, like, I did a ride to Leh once, and the
Mhm.
thing that I said no to was a television serial. So this is
Right.
this is like May in 2005. May 2005. People
Yeah.
were just discovering Leh, and me
Right.
and my friends realized that okay, our June is the right time to go to Leh. 15
Right.
days. We'll ride from Delhi to Manali, Rohtang, da करते हुए, and then we'll come back. और मई में मुझे ऑफर आया कि एक सीरियल है बहुत ही बड़े प्रोडक्शन हाउस का, आपको 28 days a month for the next 5 years you'll get work. I was
Okay.
like, and lots of money. And
Yeah.
for a 23-year-old, it was a lot of money. I was 22, 23, right?
Yeah.
I said, यार अगर मैंने ये कर लिया, मुझे तो मई से मेरा शूट शुरू हो जाएगा, तो मैं मतलब बाइक राइड पे नहीं जा पाऊंगा, और इस साल नहीं, तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है कर ले, तो
Hmm.
कितने कितने महीने में जा सकते, can we do later next? And I realized that this would never happen, and I would be 28 or 30, and I would have never gotten that opportunity to do many rides. So I said no to money, and I realized that actually I didn't need money to do and be happy. And
Yeah.
thankfully, because I did those rides, because I was a biker and I was known for it, not because I wanted to pretend to send that image out in the world like many people do with PR agencies. I ride. You've seen me riding,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. I've got photos of you. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now because of that, things follow, man. I have done a whole tour with Chris Pfeiffer,
Oh,
one of the
you
best
talked
stunt
about that
riders.
to this. So this one, you
Yeah,
carried
Chris
that
Pfeiffer.
guy.
This is my Kawasaki Ninja ZX7, man. This is
Yeah,
my
I
this
know.
is my Ninja. This is my first super bike that I bought from I mean, everything that I've done. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy that Chris Pfeiffer is sitting behind me. Can you believe
He's
that?
trusting you. A guy who rides on one wheel, it's very difficult for him to trust anyone. Trust me.
Dude, he was trusting me because I did a whole tour. We spent 15 days together, and this could easily go to Nikhil Chinappa or Cyrus Saukar or anybody else, but it came to me because I was the bike rider. You understand?
Absolutely.
I did a show called MTV Stunt Mania. I used to pop wheelies. I
So
used to do lots of
let me also look at that
it,
over here.
yeah. This is me doing a stunt on
Yeah.
the show. Why?
Yeah.
Because when I was 22, 23, I didn't say yes to money, and I decided to ride bikes. And eventually, this happened. I started doing things with bikes. I went to Italy. I went to the Ducati factory. I met Carol Abraham. You know who Carol Abraham is? He rides for
Yeah.
Ducati. He signed a
Okay.
T-shirt. It's framed. I'll just show it to you. I just kept it here to show it to you. Because I rode that bike, and I was in Italy riding. Can you imagine if I had said yes to? I would be rich, and I would have had five. Yeah. So this is my first Ducati. It was a Ducati Monster 600cc. I actually regret selling this.
Is this marine? Is this reclamation?
This is reclamation in 2005, 2006, bro.
Yeah, I know.
So
Amazing.
after I started working with MTV, Sunny, I think
Yeah.
xBhp also started in 2002 or 2003, right?
2002. Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember this is a bike that I actually regret selling, because at that time I didn't have enough money to keep two bikes, so I had to sell this one to buy a Gixxer 600.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the money was like, now today I feel like I wish because that bike, the 600 Ducati 600, was really like, it's now become a classic. It was a 96 model.
Yeah.
I wish I still had it. And so I got an opportunity then when I was 30 in 2013 to go and be part of a motocross race, a professional motocross race, because I'm that guy, I'm that rider guy. So brands like Red Bull and other brands, they trusted me because I'd done the Chris Pfeiffer thing.
Right.
That's when I built that relationship, and they said, okay,
Yeah.
Rannvijay, do this journey called Rannvijay Run. And the first thing I did was I was with one of the best riders that I've met in my life, Mohammed Balushi, UAE champion. He goes to Dakar,
Yeah.
and he trained me for 4 days. I was in a professional race. I have footage from there. I'm jumping 60 feet up in the air. Yeah, I've got.
Where is it? You should put it up online now.
It is on Wood. It's the first episode of Rannvijay Run. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
Wow.
and I realized that when people say that you should follow your passion, it seems like just jargon. It seems like, "Hare, yeah, this is something that you say. Follow your passion, and one day life will."
Yeah.
But it's actually true, bro. I followed my passion. I took that decision to ride bikes with my friends, and of course, at that time, the kind of money that was offered for the other things that I didn't do was amazing. And if when people say, "Nah, don't do anything for money," it's not easy when so much is. And I just I was like, so from my example, I can tell you, I love playing basketball, right? I
Right.
played a lot of basketball, even for my sneaker launch, and I have my own line
Yeah.
of sneakers.
Yeah.
You were there.
Yeah.
The two things. It was
What's
a
the with this?
motorsport. Yeah. See, you and me, we're
Yeah.
riding. We're wearing my sneakers. And where did we go for the launch? To my college, to my
Your college.
basketball team,
That's right. Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So now these two teams, can you imagine that I have a line of my own sneakers because I just followed my passion? It's not like because I'm a famous guy. That's not the only reason. It's because I'm passionate about sneakers and bikes. That's why a motorsport sneaker and a basketball sneaker makes sense. And today I get to work with the NBA. They take me to games to the US to see the games. I meet those players. I play with them. Again, because I followed my passion. I might not still be earning that kind
Yeah.
of money that could have happened with that, but it gives me happiness when I get to go and watch games, paid or not paid. I mean, it's crazy because even if I had the money, I would want to go for a ride with these big bikes and go watch a basketball game. So I think, and riding teaches you a lot, man. It teaches you, however big a celebrity or sportsman or whoever you are, you got to ride your bike yourself. Your
Absolutely.
bum's gonna
Of
hurt.
course. You know.
Your veins are gonna pop if you're on a bike and you don't know. And this I've seen it with many celebrities. They have the money and they buy these big bikes. I know this guy with a Suzuki Hayabusa, extended swinger. I was like, wow, yeah, extended swinger. And he's like, yeah, Pune chalte hain, Pune. So I
Okay.
said, okay, let's ride to Pune. I got my scrambler out.
Yeah.
He's like, why don't you take that the Ninja out? I said, यार ये ना सुपर बाइक है निंजा, तो इसमें थोड़े टाइम बाद ना जब हम लोग चेंबूर क्रॉस करेंगे तब तक मेरे हाथों में ना बहुत सारा ब्लड फ्लो आ जाएगा. और बिना बात किए मेरे को क्लच लगा by the time we were on the NH4 Lonavala के बाद this guy, because Lonavala cut he couldn't even like press his clutch. So till that time I was still young. I didn't realize. I was like, people want to be bikers. They want people to believe the idea of being a biker, but being an actual biker is tough. When you go from Delhi to Leh, it's lesser baths. It's the kind of places you live in, the kind of roads, the kind of it's not easy. The idea of being a cool biker, everybody wants, but actually putting the tough, hard work and riding and is not everybody's cup of tea. So I took my dad for a bike ride. By the way, I took him to Leh.
Okay. Oh,
I I think you have pictures of me and my dad, and I took my dad riding all the way to Leh from Chandigarh.
Unfortunately,
You do. It's the guy with the beard and me standing like this. I sent you some pictures. So again, it's on YouTube
I guess
also.
I missed those. But let me actually, Rannvijay, please tell me about this.
So I have a dude. I love bikes, man. And anything with a motor or an engine in it, I just love. So this guy who's standing next to me is Babar Khan. Babar Khan is one of the best stunt riders in the country. He won.
Right.
He won Stunt Mania 2, and on Stunt Mania 3, him and I used to design the tasks, the stunts, and then do it. Right.
Okay.
Later on, I formed a group called Squadron, and on Squadron we did these different videos. So one of them was sponsored by Castrol, and we had to do some bike stunts. So I got this bike, and we did stunts on this bike, man. It was too much fun, and I wanted to buy this, but then apparently at that time you couldn't take them out on the road, and some registration problem and all that. And I was like, I don't want to get into, again, being a good example is something that I always consciously, think about. So I was like, if I can't ride a bike on the road, then what's the point?
Right.
But it was too much fun. Small pocket bikes are too much fun.
Absolutely amazing. So one sec. So Rannvijay, if I ask you, like, which is your favorite motorcycle? Like your dream motorcycle, and which you probably want to have and ride. And my second part of the question, where do you want? I see that in your eyes. Where would you want to ride that if you get your dream motorcycle?
Sunny, I don't know if you would relate to me on this, but the kind of bikes that I loved and liked have changed over a period of time. Does that happen with you? It does.
But I remember you telling me that you like.
I have a bike in my mind that I always want, because now, since I grew up and I learned a lot about bikes, I saw the Confederate making that Hellcat.
Yeah.
I really like that bike.
Dhoni has it.
Dhoni has one. So Confederate has many models. The Hellcat is a model. I like another model. They're very expensive bikes, but there's a lot of history in that. It's handmade bikes. They're very few, and there is a lot of. They're expensive. It's also very rough and edgy, little army combat kind of situation. So a lot of industrial. So I like that, but I'm now, in the last few years, I like classic bikes a lot, man. So I'm looking at a Norton.
Is this the photo?
So this is the photo of me and my dad on our way to Leh. Yeah.
Right, I got it. Yeah.
My dad was he had just retired as a lieutenant general from the army.
But he looks very young. I mean,
Yeah, he's 62 here, man. He's 62 here.
In this photo.
Yeah, in this photo. Now he's 64. He's 64. He's going to be, he's 64.
What is the secret of looking young? I mean, motorcycling and like army stuff like that.
I think it's the fact that every moment that we're alive and with the families, we try to enjoy them. We don't take them for granted, and that fills us with life and positivity and staying fit. And I asked my dad once, and he hadn't been riding since his Road King days. Right. And 30-40 years later, I said, Dad, you just retired. Finally, it's time for us to spend a lot of time with each other. I'm going on a bike ride, and you're coming with me. He said, oh, when? He didn't say, oh, what? He said, oh, when? I reached Chandigarh. The bikes were there, arranged. Boom. Straight to Manai. 7 days of just pure bliss and pure fun with atmospheric pressure.
I think
Anji?
Chandigarh is a great place to be. Like just right at the foothills, and
Yeah,
you
it's
don't have to ride this plane. And
yeah, you're right. You're so right. My parents have settled down there. I went to a school in the hills right next to Chandigarh, Dakshai. So on your way to Shimla, my school comes there. It's an old British building, and my father studied in Chel Military School, so just an hour away from my school. So we know those hills, we know those mountains, and raid the Himalaya and all of that happens
yeah,
there. So I mean, Chandigarh is a really good place if you want to ride your bike into the hills. It's amazing.
and sorry I interjected you. You said that your dream motorcycle is a Confederate Hellcat. Is that what you say?
Yeah, yeah, but my passion for my love for bikes when I was younger, no, I just wanted a super bike, man. I just wanted a super bike. I want a super bike. Like it was like I want to be on a super bike.
Beast
When
mode.
I had when I
Beast
had
mode.
super bikes, yeah, I know. When I had
Yeah.
super bikes, the Gixxer, um, the Ninja, I realized that I'm more of a I like that. I like to be, but I don't want to be fast on the road and all that. And then I started getting into cafe races, which was just beautiful to ride, And once I went onto that track, that dirt track, I just love off-roading. I just love off-roading. So when I go
Yeah.
to Leh, like I'm mostly standing and riding, mostly standing and just because of the training that I got when I was doing that episode.
I can imagine.
And I really, really love off-roading. It's really challenging and exciting, going through. So going further, I would like to train a little more and off-road because off-road is you and the nature. There's no truck driver, there is no oil on the road, there's no other things that can affect your riding. The way you ride, the way you balance, the way you position your body, the way you go up, you're in the air. If you're nose diving, you brake. If you're going up, so if you're nose diving, you throttle. It's up to you. If you're going up, you brake. So all of that depends on you.
I can see
It's
you're
not
missing it a lot.
a
You should
lot.
do more.
I,
I really start something. Rannvijay, if I ask you that which rider would you want to ride with? One in on the road and probably on the dirt track that you
dirt,
probably haven't done yet.
dirt track is definitely Mohammad Balushi.
Okay, but you already done that.
So CS Santosh. CS is a very dear friend of mine. Dear in the
Yeah,
sense I respect him a lot. I haven't hung out with him as much as I'd like to. And
yeah.
because of Mohammad Balushi, I got in touch with CS. Then we were working for the same company for a bit. And I've always wished him all the best for his Dakar rallies and of course. And he said, "Run that. Why don't you come and practice with me?" And there's one race in Rajasthan that happens and participate and all that. So once I get the time, because I'm also trying to establish, and now you have a kid, so you want to secure the future of everything. But I keep reminding myself of who I am, and riding a bike and doing stunts and jumping off buildings is how I can remind myself of who I am. So so CS, I would definitely like to ride off road. Um, I would like to go back to a little bit of stunting in a controlled environment, which I would love to do with Babar Khan because he has a stunt academy now. Because
Right.
I was in the initial stage of stunting when in 2001, 2, and 3 in Delhi, I used to pop wheelies and stoppies and everything. But by the time it became like this animal, the circle wheelies and everything, by that time I was out. So I'd like to get back into it because I think that's something that really excites me. Because I remember Chris Pfeiffer was in his 40s when
Yeah.
he was doing it. So there's no real age. You have to be a sportsman. And on the road, I would just honestly like to ride with my friends and family. Nothing gives me more joy. There was a time when I was like, I want to ride with Valentino Rossi, huh? And
I still want
but I
to.
know
Yeah.
for a fact that if I meet Valentino, instead of riding with him, I would just like to pick his brains and just ask him because I'm a big fan, and I see him riding every race, right? Uh, of course, I mean, if it was a wish list, getting to ride with Valentino Rossi would be great, but I can't sit behind anybody. So I would try to be with him for as long as the 3 turns, and then he would just leave, and I'd be like, eh. So
You know,
I also learned cornering. So let's see.
yeah, you should go and ride on his motor ranch. So that would get you best of the both worlds. You know, Valentino Rossi plus off-roading at his ranch. That is where he
Yeah,
trains off-road. So that would be perfect. You know, and I think you, if
that's,
anyone can do it, it's you. And
I
when you
think
do it,
so.
please
It's a
thank
good
me to
idea.
give you that idea.
Yeah, and no, I'll take you with me. I'll say this is my guy who manages everything, and he has to be
Yeah,
documenting everything. And somehow we'll slip you in, yeah, right? I'm going to tell.
let's
So I work with two companies that he's part of, Valentino Rossi. Um,
and yeah,
GoPro, he's a GoPro brand ambassador, and so am I.
yeah.
So they said that listen, when the negotiations are, I said, listen, whatever year you want to keep, you can keep renewing whatever money, blah blah blah. The year that you make me meet Valentino Rossi, that year I won't charge you anything. So now it's in the best interest of the GoPro team to save economically to save money to get me to do something with Valentino. How cool is that? So I'll
Well,
say I won't get paid for 1 year. Doesn't matter, yeah. Not for the whole year from one particular company, but I get to do what you're saying. So let's see if that happens.
that's amazing. I can see the twinkle in your eyes. Right? So you
I
know, I've got
was so
a
happy. I was so happy when he. I'm a fan of a guy, right? So even if you must have noticed my email address. Don't say it out loud, but it has a 46 in it.
yeah, yeah. That's what I noted first. I thought that
Yeah.
how come you're 6-year-old and you still look so young? You know, but
No,
no, no,
it's because of Valentino. And the other
no.
number that I use a lot is 23. So on my jerseys, you have Michael Jordan's numbers. You'll always see me wearing 23. Even my school, sometimes my college, when I got an opportunity, was 23. These are
Exactly.
the two guys that
Half
I
of
really look up to, man. So, huh?
that's half of 46, incidentally.
Yeah,
So
and Michael Jordan's a huge fan
yeah,
of bikes himself. He's a team Jordan in one of the not the MotoGP, I think 3 or something. He has a team,
you're serious?
but yeah, he's heavily into. He's got a team, motorcycle riding team.
Then I think
I
you
also
should
have
meet Keanu as well. Keanu
hmm?
Reeves. You should also meet him. I think he's got art
So
on his. Mm.
Keanu customizes bikes with his partner, and
Yeah,
he's a huge biker himself. He actually gifted third Matrix. By the time the two Matrixes had become a huge hit, third Matrix, he brought a truck of Harley Davidsons, and all the crew members that had worked on the first two, and of course on the third, everybody rode home in a Harley Davidson. Can you imagine that?
what
That's Keanu Reeves.
cool anecdote there. So
You know what? I on Roadies this time when I go, I'm also going to do something like this. Everybody in the crew gets one of these.
now you can actually give them real motorcycles. You know,
Yeah.
so let's do a deal or something. So you
Yeah.
know, somebody asking, is MTV Stunt Mania season 4 happening in the future or something? No.
Not as of now. Yeah. We are taking a little bit of a responsible kind of a direction with everything, and we did that in a way we want to tell people that stunt riders are actually athletes.
Right.
They train 8 to 10 hours. Most of the stunt riders that I know, which is way more than any other sport that you train for. And that time they didn't get any respect from local people, from their parents and everything. But after that, what I've seen is that lots of brands, Yamaha, KTM, many people have used stunt riders in their ads, regular shows like regular stunt shows and everything. And I think we kind of achieved at that time back in the day to give a section, a niche of people that respect that they really deserved. Right
Right.
now, I don't think we would be able to make a huge difference in anybody's life. And there are so also I see that every film, heroes, actors, actresses, stunt riding has become a part of our pop culture anyways. So I think
Right.
that job's been done. Now you see heroes popping wheelies, and so anyways, a guy who can ride a bike on a wheelie has that respect. He gets those jobs and he does those stunts. And Ghost Riders are there. You remember Ghost Riders, right?
Oh, absolutely. I rode their motorcycle. I mean, talking about the ones in India, right?
Yeah, Ghost Riders from Kerala.
From yeah, I rode their bike in the Fireblade 929,
Very nice,
big
very
spot,
nice boys.
and it's not easy as it looks, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, so let us actually revisit a few pictures here that we have. So this one. So what is this
So this is
contraption here?
this is an Enfield 350 customized by Ego Custom Wheels. Now, Ego Custom Wheels is like how you spoke about Keanu Reeves. Me and my friend Jignesh Mistry, we
Right.
have a company where we customize bikes and cars, mostly bikes.
Mhm.
And this is one of our choppers that we had built. Actually, this is a repainted version of what it was. I sent you another picture where this actually was um the
Ah,
paint
white
job
and red,
was
right? Yeah.
Optimus Prime.
Right.
So at that time, our one of our clients wanted an Optimus Prime themed bike, so we made it for him. 6 7 years later, he said, "Now I'm going abroad, and can you buy it back from me?" So we just bought it back, and I at that time said, "I don't want an Optimus Prime bike. Okay, I'm just going to paint it black," and I wrote it as a black chopper like this.
Oh, black
I
is everything.
yeah, black is ever black. Matte
My
black. I
favorite.
painted it. Yeah, all your
And,
also.
hmm,
This company that we started, right, Jignesh and me, to customize bikes and cars, we also won an award. Yeah, we got in the bike India Bike Week.
right.
We got the best customization for a Royal Enfield that we done.
Right.
Then then we also got the best restoration. We did a 1956 Tiger Triumph. We restored of Mr. Salim Khan. For that, we got the best restoration. So and all of this is passion driven. There's no like profits or P&L or anything of our company, nothing
Yeah.
like that. It's
Right.
mostly
It's
passion.
like, and talking about Triumph, I have a appropriate contextual photo, not exactly the one you restored, but
Yeah,
this one. This from Chase
this is
Monsoon.
also this is also Chandigarh, bro.
This is Chandigarh, absolutely. And
This is
this,
also
and
Chandigarh.
this,
Yeah,
and
what
this.
a bike this is! What a bike this is,
That was a nice burnout. Huh?
right?
We
Yeah.
can't help but do this. And bro, I have also got one more photo. Like, I think this was quite a few years ago.
Look at
This
us.
is,
We've had so many interactions, man.
yeah, this was beautiful. Like a lot of XPP members there. And I also want to tell people here that Rannvijay had actually written a great piece for the XBhp magazine once last year, and this is
Yeah,
that. And
I remember
this,
I submitted it very late. You told me like 4 5 times. I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
yeah, this is you
In
with
your office.
yeah. This was the old office now. Is like, and this is the book. One second. Uh, yeah. So this is the book. Sorry, this is the magazine, the issue, and this is yours over here.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, man, for this. And it's great to be speaking to a biker always. It doesn't matter how famous you are, and yeah, it just we just gel on the same topic. So Ranvijay, would you like to? I personally want to see something which has yet to come out of India, which is a proper motorcycling movie or a
Yeah.
TV.
So Harman and my younger brother Harman is a writer. He writes and acts. He's actually 70% done with the story, and he's writing now that we have the time, so we discuss it. And he's writing a coming of age motorcycle film. And I heard it, and I was like, oh, why don't you put this character a little more of the brother? And he has. So so me and him are trying to do that.
Yeah,
It's a very nice. And it's not about adventure. It's not about action and boom boom boom
right,
wheelie and all. It's more of a coming of age riding, what riding does to the soul, how it heals people, how a rider goes and touches so many different people's lives, and because you're a traveler, and all you need is a place to stay and eat, and then you move on. But when you go there and how you interact with those people, their problems, and how you can help them and move on, right? It's that it's pretty nice.
right. So you know, do you get inspired by something which a series or something which has been already aired? Like for example, you had a series in America, the American Chopper. I think you just
So
got it.
OCC was one of the first biker build, not biker build off. Sorry, biker build off also was a series. But because of OCC, we said, yeah, we can make our own bikes and stuff like that. And Vardhanchi was doing things. Vijay Rajputana, Vijay is doing good things. And this is many years ago. And we're like, yeah, why can't we? And then we realized that you can't change the length of a bike. You can't change the specs of a bike. When you modify a bike, it's not actually road legal and all of that. And again, I don't want to be in a place where something happens to somebody and it's just because we want to create something. So I want to do it the right way. And but yeah, you really get influence in America. It's so easy there. You have a big place because it's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can just order parts and assemble a bike. You don't even have to make. We make our own bloody mudguard, tank, everything, tuck, 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 with a hammer. There's no machine also tuck, 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 going. So see this video on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel, Ego Custom Wheels, the story, right? And you realize how difficult it is to customize bikes if you don't have the right resources. And there's no real market anymore in customization in India, right? But abroad, everything is, because it's so developed, it's so matured, the market, that you don't even want the same thing as anybody else, and you want your bike to be, as soon as somebody looks at it, it could be the model that they know, but they'll be like, hey, this is Sunny's bike, this is Rannvijay's bike, because of the art on it, because of the customization on it. So I don't think we are there yet as a biking nation. But it definitely, OCC was amazing because Paul Senior was an entertaining guy, and the differences between Paul Senior and Paul Junior actually made the show, and they actually had those differences in real life. It's not like made up. He shifted out and he made his own company. Apart from that, I don't know if you've seen Ewan McGregor's show.
Yeah.
You've seen when he wrote. Yeah, so
long way down. Those series.
Yeah. So, and
Charlie actually was here in India, so I went around with him. His other partner, riding partner. So yeah, so you need to do something like that. Maybe.
Yeah, so me and Jignesh were planning something very cool. Wouldn't be a series, but would be like a five-part series on YouTube. Where we want to take there's a new bike that I don't know how to say the name, that is released again, and we had the model from back in 60s. So we want to do a classic and a modern ride, and how a young rider and an older experienced rider, their mentality is different. And because you could be a 16 or 18-year-old rider, right? And that time your riding style is different, your life is different. You don't think about things. But at our age, when I'm 37 now, you have a kid. Riding styles change. You ride for different reasons, and but you keep riding. So it was again going to be a coming of age kind of a series, and we will actually go again. This is the summer that we were planning to go to Leh on those two bikes, but now it's been pushed.
Wow.
The thing with Leh is that it can happen once a year. If it doesn't happen, then you have to wait for the next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rannvijay, bro, are you looking forward to electric motorcycles?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, because that's the need of the hour. I checked out the Volt, yeah. Rahul's.
Yeah, Volt. Yeah.
I was checking them out. Then I checked out another few independent people who made electric bikes in India. Some in Bangalore, one guy in Rajasthan. I messaged them and I'm saying, great work. Let's see what happens. And I rode a electric bike in the US. It's a different. It's a different feeling because
power of the tap, immediately.
That's there. So exhilaration and all of that excitement is there. But when you ride a bike, the vibration, the gear change, the smoothness of that, the sound.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was.
Vibration. So I'm like all of that. So I've told this one guy who's working, and these guys are from Bangalore, they're engineers. I said, you know what? We gotta add a bit of vibration, which has got nothing to do with an engine. We got to add a bit of sound because for a rider, that it's part of the whole experience.
Yeah.
So they're like, valuable inputs, and I love the Java.
Yeah.
Because the kick was the gears. It'll never. people would never know that. So when I'm riding a Java and a kid is looking at me and saying, "Hey, oh wow, what a bike!" and I'm like, "Okay, why don't you ride it?" He wouldn't know how to start it.
Yeah.
That's the charm of, not that he can't start it, but he'll be like, "Wow, the kick is the gear. It goes down," and so a lot of those things will be eliminated when we go electric. There'll be no
There won't be
fuel
any clutch.
leakage.
You will be
You,
searching
I
for
mean,
it.
you won't be on bikes
There
where
won't
you
be.
actually turn the thing ki acha iska petrol lock kar deta hu, so the vibrations and the movement and everything is something that maybe they can add for a bit, and then later on the bikers would be such that they would be used to electric bikes, and then
Yeah,
but I think that's the way to go, man. You gotta do it.
absolutely. So,
They'll be
Rannvijay,
more-
yeah.
yeah.
So the last bit of question is that where do you think motorcycling in India is going? And if there is one thing which the government should support us, by keeping motorcyclists in mind, what should that be?
Definitely the truck drivers and the bus drivers and the big vehicle drivers need to be trained and made more sensitive towards bikers. That's one. Everybody who gets a driving license needs to understand how to change lanes, because changing lanes is dangerous for bikers if cars and all are not looking around. So for the other drivers to be responsible and to look at bikers with respect. Also, bike riders, if
Wow.
and a gear, wearing the helmets,
Yeah.
um, wearing closed-toed shoes, and maintaining lane discipline. All of that will get us respect. Once that happens, then the government, like, I'm not saying, hey, why don't you make different roads for bikers? That's just,
Hmm.
you can't do that. But if there is enough respect, and if there is more safety and better rules for bikers, then it'll be easier for us to ride without it being a problem at home. Yeah, can you imagine that if you're riding a bike, the whole family becomes stressed? Not mine, but so many people. अरे मुझे तो बाइक चलाने का मौका ही नहीं मिला, मेरी फैमिली ने अलाउ नहीं किया. क्यों नहीं अलाउ किया? क्योंकि सेफ नहीं है. क्योंकि रोड पे बाइकर की गलती हो या ना हो, बस ट्रक, कार, किसी की भी गलती हो सकती है. ऊपर से
Right.
on our highways, man, the dogs, cats, animals crossing. I mean, how can we stop that? So secure the highways on both sides with fences, because anyways, we love our animals. We don't want them to get hurt by a biker or a car or a truck anyways. So that has to happen. Also, when we have cuts and dividers, and people just, when you go to highways, you have villages, and people they just dart across. So maybe we should have more kind of rules, regulations there. The speeds should be limited and everything, so that less accidents happen, and then we are happier to ride.
Right. So, Rannvijay, I mean, we could discuss this at length. Is there anything you want to
For
say
hours.
for
I
hours?
just want to tell everybody that you're at home, and like Sunny, make sure that you make the most of the time that you have at home. Talk to your friends, talk to your elders, make the best of the time that you have, and stay safe. And one day we shall all ride together.
Absolutely. So, Rannvijay, I think I have to say bye now. And great. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care,
And
brother.
you also stay safe. And hopefully, we'll meet soon on the road.
100%. Ride safe.
Take care. Bye,
Bye.
bro.